Hello everyone, my name is TT19. How are you doing there today? I released a video a few days ago in regards to religion, the way that I thought about it. I literally recorded that a couple of seconds ago, but the way that I would plan to release is that way. That was just something that I had in my mind for a while. Even more so, I've had this particular issue on my mind for a while. The reason being is because it's very close to my current situation. And it's also something that I haven't revealed to a lot of people, and it's actually going to take a lot out of me to speak about this, and even maybe release it, because as you've obviously clicked on the title of this video, the title of the video is depression, and a lot of people don't know because I did not advertise it too much. I went through a tough stage in my life where, for anyone that doesn't know, I had my leg broken in a really unfortunate football accident, which was pretty much the worst accident you can have on a football pitch. And because of that, my leg was out. It still is, and it likely will be, because of the complicated surgeries and everything to get it back up. Before I go into the sort of the story and everything, I have to explain. Myself at heart, I'm an extremely positive person. I think a lot of people that know me would understand that. If I'm playing games with people online, I'm always laughing. If I see people, I'm always trying to, have a good time. I'm not trying to cause any, problems. I'm not trying to bring myself down. I'm always trying to look for the positive spin on things. There was a time that maybe I wasn't like that, but certainly before I went through this stage, I was very, very I was looking for happiness, looking for a reason to be happy, looking rather than looking for a reason to be depressed, if that can make any sense to you. And even more so, especially as I was a father, so everything was kind of going right. I had my job and everything like that. And it wasn't just because everything was going right. My natural instinct, the person that I was and still am, is that I looked for a reason to be happy rather than a reason to be sad. But anyway, basically I had the accident happen. A lot of changes happened in my life very quickly. For instance, for the first time in a long time, my body wasn't my own. To be able to get up and go someplace wasn't an actual possibility for me to do anymore. I couldn't just get out of my seat and go to another seat, or even something as bad as needing the toilet is such an arduous task that I'd much happily just wait and try and go as long as I could. Those things didn't contribute towards my depression, but that was the kind of the mindset I was in at the time. I was still looking, even after that, I was still a happy guy. I was still trying to be happy, and everything like that. But there came a time. This is, I'd say, about 8 months. I might be wrong with the timing. I'm not entirely sure. After the whole thing happened, I kind of started to get set into my new way of living, and you need the cane to move around. That's my cane. So I started to get around. I was still, laughing, joking, and then there just came a time where I would get very down, and I would be unable to. For the first time in my life, I wouldn't be able to almost smack myself in the face and go, "Don't be down. Be happy. Look at all you have." And as much as I tried that, it would annoy me rather than get me out of the funk I was, and I'd just get worse, and it would just spiral, and I was getting into a very depressive state. And this, for about the first week it happened, I thought, well, fair enough, maybe it's. I even put it down to something that I ate. It could have been just something that, it could have been anything, anything that made me feel as bad as it was then. Maybe it was just a collection of things just getting on top of me. Everyone has those moments. It doesn't matter how positive you are. But the problem is, it wasn't going away. And after about the first week, it was happening more and more throughout the day. And then there'll be days that I just didn't want to get out of bed. Times that I just really didn't want to face the day. And as much as I think to myself, I just want to go to sleep, try again tomorrow, I knew inside myself I'd feel the same way tomorrow. So that's basically how it started. I don't know whether it was my leg breaking. I don't know whether it was maybe myself finally coming to terms with the sort of things that were happening. But I found myself for the first time being unable to control my mood, which was really odd. Being very unable to, even for friends or even my wife, who's the ultimate architect of how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling crap, she would make me feel happy. Even she couldn't get the job done. So for the first time in a very long time, I was very, very scared. I didn't know how to battle the issue that I had. I didn't know how to to get out of it. I didn't know how. As much as I tried different things, and I was trying every day. I didn't want to feel that way. When I was talking to people, I was exactly the same sort of person. There was that undertone of just depression, and and it was a situation I didn't know how to fight myself out of. And it was very scary. I didn't know what to do. No one knew about this. My wife, I think maybe one or two people I may have told just to help them if they've had the same issue, to say, look, mate, I've been through this as well. But most people, even the ones closest to me, probably didn't realise the severity. I was by all means, I wasn't self-harming. The idea of suicide never came into my mind. That's just because of the way that I'm built. I think that as soon as my daughter was born, the idea of doing that just disgusts me. I don't think I would be able to do that to her. So that's that was never on the cards, and because of that as well, it was a little bit like I had a new sense to battle what I didn't know how to battle. So continuing with the story anyway, this continued for, I'd say, 2 months without me actually actively seeking help, me trying myself to deal with the issues, but I was getting progressively worse, and by the end of those 2 months, I was very bad. I was very upset a lot of the time. That upset started to breed into anger, which I didn't show, which I bottled up, which eventually made the whole thing worse. And then finally, it came up to the point where I had to agree to myself that I wasn't, that I couldn't beat it on my own. That just me and my wife couldn't beat it. Whatever information we could find on the net, whatever I tried personally, because it was a problem with me, it wasn't working. I'd still wake up just as bad. I'd go to bed just as bad, and it was just this spiral that I didn't know how to stop and rebuild up from there, as much as I tried to. So I did. I went to the doctors here, which is something very. I don't like going to doctors and talking about these. I'd much rather talk to my subscribers about these, even to a doctor, which is weird. But yeah, I did that, and I was referred to a. I don't think I was referred to like a psychiatrist. I think it was more like a psychologist sort of thing. I don't know exactly what her job title was, but it was essentially to. It was essentially, to battle the depression, to give me tools to be able to beat it. And I went quite a few times. I went as many times as I think I needed to, because I think by the time I think I went there about 5 or 6 times, long appointments, and it wasn't things like tell me how did your father impact your life. It wasn't stuff like that, because I knew it wasn't something like that. It wasn't even about the leg. It was just literally about the transition in my life and me not able to deal with it. So I needed other people to help. And we did. We hashed it out, and there was a few extra little techniques that we learned. I won't say the things that we did, because I'm no professional, and it might not help certain people. It might make them worse. So I'm not going to, if you're looking for tips of how to beat this, my main tip would be go to your doctor, see a counsellor. But that's when I started to I don't want to say unquote, but I started to perk back up. That things started to get better, and I started to be able to figure out how to stop these feelings of this depression. And then it took a while, but I was getting progressively better and happier each day. And then I'd say about maybe 2 or 3 months after the last appointment with the woman I went to see, I could finally pretty much say that I wasn't depressed anymore, and even if I did feel depressed, it wouldn't take over my life, which is which is good. Obviously, it's good, but it's one of those things now that I'm almost a little bit too confident. You know what I mean? I feel now like as if I'm a little bit unbeatable when it comes to depression because I've beaten it once, and like I said, I'm a generally. I think you can tell the people that genuinely want to beat the depression. That's one of the things that the counsellor said, that this woman said to me when I came to see her, that you can tell the people that really do and the people that are just so sunk in what they want to be that they are, that it's very hard to get them out of them. But because I battled it every single day, and I sought help before it got to a point where maybe I had reclused so badly that I wouldn't be able to even hide it from people anymore, that it would just become very, very bad. I came out the other side. I'm much happier now for it. Like I said, I say to you now, the reason why I'm doing this video is to try and maybe give people my story of it, and hopefully that can help a few people, maybe convince a few people maybe to go seek help, instead of wallowing in it. It doesn't help anyone in that sense. The main people that, before you can look out for other people around you, this is one of the things that I learned mainly through this. I was one of the people that, because of depression, I was getting very upset about the fact that I couldn't help the people around me, and my urge to help them, I was overlooking the fact that I need to help myself first. You don't build your troops and then send them out to battle. You build a castle first and send them out to battle so they can come home, and they can be safe. That's a bit of a weird analogy, but that's essentially it. Like, before you can be the best you can be, you need to make sure you're 100%. And going out and just looking after other people, or not even. It's not even being selfish. You need to just take a bit of time for yourself. If you one of those people that wants to help people and then says, because I help all these other people, I don't have time to take over, look after myself. Then look at it the same way. Well, if you want to look after other people, that's fantastic. But the only way you're going to be able to do that to 100% of your potential is to look after home base, and seek help where available. I would say that before I had the depression, I would never have sought help from doctors or counsellors. It was really far beyond. I literally got to a point where I had to, for my wife's sake. I wasn't being mean to her or angry towards her by any things, but it's hard. I think it's hard for some people. It's hard for people to watch someone else go through that, than to go through it yourself. I think sometimes if I had to watch my wife go through that sort of depression, it would really harm me. So do it for other people, but not ultimately do it for yourself. I don't want this video to go too long, but that's pretty much my story on depression. Now, like I said, my wife tells me sometimes that I'm too confident, because I think to myself, if I ever get in that situation again, I now have the tools to be able to overcome that particular issue. So thanks a lot for watching. Leave a comment if you'd like to ask me a question about the things I've went through. Maybe you're going through depression yourself. I'm by no means a counsellor, but if you just want to talk to someone, I'm more than happy to be there. This is probably one of the more personal videos I'll ever do on this channel. It's something that I find struggle, and I've struggled to upload this, and when I do, I'm going to be like this. But thanks a lot for watching, and if this helped you, if this helped one person, then it would have been worth me putting this up and putting myself out there for that. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot, bye bye.